This is Sergeant Major Marcus Cole, retired, Terran Colonial Marines. What I am about to tell you has been classified for 47 years, vowed to protect military secrets. But because the Federation was not sure humanity was ready to know what we are truly capable of. I was on Meridian-IV when the Vorr came. I was 26 years old, stationed at a colonial outpost with 43 other Marines. By the time the Vorr left, I understood something about humanity that no training could have taught me. We are not civilized. Not really. We just pretend to be. This is the story of first contact with the Vorr Dominion. This is the story of the hunt of Meridian-IV. The Vorr had ruled their corner of the galaxy for 12,000 years. They were perfect predators, evolved on a death world where only the strongest survived. 3 meters tall, 4 arms, armored skin that could stop small caliber rounds. They could see in infrared, smell fear from a kilometer away, and run at speeds that made our fastest vehicles seem slow. For millennia, they had hunted across the stars. 400 species had fallen to their hunting packs. They did not conquer for territory or resources. They conquered for sport. Every Vorr warrior collected trophies. Skulls, mostly. The skull of a planetary governor was worth prestige. The skull of a general was worth honor. The skull of a king was worth legend. No species had ever successfully resisted them. No prey had ever fought back effectively. The Vorr believed themselves the ultimate apex predators in the universe. Then they found humanity. Their scout ships detected Meridian-IV in late 2217. A small colony, population 8,000. Mostly farmers, researchers, and support staff. A single marine detachment for security. To the Vorr, it was perfect. A new species, soft targets, easy trophies. They did not bother with reconnaissance. They did not study human history. They did not learn about our evolutionary past. That was their first mistake. The Vorr landed at night. 12 hunting packs, 144 warriors total. They expected the hunt to last perhaps 3 days. Enough time to collect trophies and leave before any human military response could arrive. They moved through the forests toward the main settlement, silent and confident. Their infrared vision cut through the darkness. Their sensors detected the heat signatures of sleeping colonists. The pack leader, a veteran of 60 hunts, gave the signal to begin. They never reached the settlement. The first Vorr died without a sound. A steel cable, stretched between 2 trees at neck height, took his head clean off. The hunting pack did not even notice until they found the body 300 meters behind them. The second Vorr stepped into a pit trap, sharpened stakes, coated with a neurotoxin derived from local plants. He was dead before he could scream. The third Vorr was killed by a colonist, a farmer named Elena Vasquez, 62 years old. She had positioned herself in a tree with a hunting rifle her grandfather had brought from Earth. One shot through the eye socket, the only weak point in Vorr armor. By dawn, the Vorr had lost 11 warriors. They had not even seen a single human. I remember the moment I realized what was happening. Our colonial administrator, Governor Chen, had called an emergency meeting. The Vorr had jammed our long-range communications. No help was coming for at least 2 weeks. We had 2 options: fortify the settlement and wait for rescue, or take the fight to the hunters. Governor Chen asked for volunteers. Every single Marine stepped forward. So did 200 colonists. You see, the Vorr had made an assumption. They assumed that humans, like every other species they had encountered, would react to predators the way prey animals react. Run, hide, cower. They did not understand what humans are. We evolved on a planet where everything was trying to kill us. Predators with claws and fangs, diseases that could wipe out entire populations, weather that could freeze or burn us, other humans competing for the same resources, and we did not just survive. We dominated. We hunted the hunters. We drove predators to extinction. We conquered every environment, from frozen tundras to scorching deserts to the depths of the oceans. The Vorr thought they were hunting prey. They were hunting humanity. For 3 days, we turned the forests of Meridian-IV into a nightmare. We used every trick our ancestors had developed over 200,000 years of hunting. Pit traps, snares, deadfalls, tripwires connected to explosives. We poisoned water sources. We left false trails. We created decoys from heat lamps and speakers playing recorded sounds. The colonists knew the terrain. They had lived in these forests for years. They knew every valley, every ridge, every stream. The Vorr were fighting on ground we had already made our own. But more than tactics, we used fear. Humans are persistence predators. We do not strike and retreat like cats. We do not ambush and overpower like crocodiles. We follow. We watch. We wait. We let our prey exhaust itself. Let terror do most of the work. And then we strike, when resistance is no longer possible. The Vorr had never experienced this. On the first day, they found one of their warriors hanging from a tree. His body was intact, but his skull had been removed and placed on a rock below him. A message. On the second day, we began targeting them while they slept. No Vorr rested peacefully after that. Every sound in the darkness could be a human. Every shadow could hide a rifle. On the third day, they tried to retreat to their landing craft. They found the ships disabled. A team of Marines had infiltrated the landing zone while the Vorr were hunting. The explosives we placed were crude but effective. The hunters were now trapped on a planet with prey that refused to behave like prey. By the end of the first week, the Vorr had lost 60 warriors. They had killed only 12 humans. Their pack leaders were dead, picked off by snipers who could shoot from distances the Vorr considered impossible. Their supplies were contaminated. Their morale was shattered. They began to make mistakes. They clustered together for safety, which only made them easier targets. They abandoned their hunting protocols and tried to fight defensively, which negated their speed and strength. On the 8th day, we found their main camp, 43 Vorr remaining, huddled in a defensive perimeter. They had set up barricades and motion sensors. It did not matter. We hit them at 0300 hours, the darkest part of the night. The colonists had spent days preparing the assault. Homemade smoke grenades to blind their infrared vision, noisemakers to overwhelm their sensitive hearing, concentrated attacks from multiple directions to prevent organized resistance. The battle lasted 47 minutes. 31 Vorr died in the camp. 12 attempted to flee into the forest. We hunted them down over the following 3 days. Not one Vorr left Meridian-IV alive. When the Federation relief fleet finally arrived, they found something unexpected. The colony was intact. The colonists were alive. And in the center of the settlement, we had constructed a pyramid. A pyramid made of Vorr skulls. 144 of them. The Federation commanders did not know how to react. Some were horrified. Others were impressed. A few looked at the pyramid and nodded slowly, as if they understood something they could not put into words. Governor Chen explained it simply. They came to take trophies. We decided to take them first. The aftermath of Meridian-IV changed human-Vorr relations forever. The Vorr Dominion sent a diplomatic vessel 3 months later. Not a warship, not a hunting party. A single ship, carrying their supreme huntmaster and an offer of formal peace. It was unprecedented. In 12,000 years of Vorr history, they had never sued for peace with a prey species. The Supreme Huntmaster requested a meeting with the survivors of Meridian-IV. I was there. So was Elena Vasquez and Governor Chen. The Huntmaster was ancient by Vorr standards, over 300 years old, his body covered in scars from countless hunts. He studied us for a long moment before speaking. We have hunted 400 species across this galaxy. None have ever done what your people did. None have ever turned the hunt against us. None have ever taken our skulls as trophies. He paused. His forearms spread wide in what I later learned was a gesture of respect. You are not prey. We understand this now. We do not know what you are. But you are not prey. Governor Chen asked him what the Vorr intended to do. The Huntmaster's response has become famous in diplomatic circles. We will leave your species alone. We will not enter your territory. We will not hunt your people, and we will warn others to do the same. The Vorr have a new word now. We created it for you. In our language, it means those who hunt back. We will tell every species we encounter about the humans, about Meridian-IV, about the Pyramid of Skulls. He leaned forward, and for the first time, I saw something in his alien eyes that looked almost like fear. You are more dangerous than we are. You simply choose not to show it most of the time. The galaxy should be grateful for your restraint. I have thought about his words many times over the years. He was right, in a way. Humans are social creatures. We build civilizations. We create art and music and literature. We cooperate and compromise and seek peace. But beneath all of that, we are still the hunters who chased mammoths across Ice Age plains. We are still the survivors who fought wolves with wooden spears. We are still the species that drove our competitors to extinction and claimed the Earth as our own. We are civilized because we choose to be, not because we have to be. The Vorr understood this after Meridian-IV. They learned what every predator eventually learns when it hunts humans. We are not at the top of the food chain because we are the strongest or the fastest or the most heavily armored. We are at the top because we are the most adaptable, the most persistent, and the most creatively violent species ever to evolve. 47 years have passed since the hunt of Meridian-IV. The Vorr have kept their word. They have not entered human space. They have not hunted human beings. Their diplomats sometimes visit Earth now. Trade missions, cultural exchanges. They are surprisingly good guests, respectful and curious about human customs. But I notice how they watch us, how they study our children playing in parks, our athletes competing in sports, our soldiers training for combat. They are not looking at potential prey. They are studying a rival predator, and they are quietly grateful that we have chosen, for now, to be friends. The Pyramid of Skulls still stands on Meridian-IV. The colonists preserved it as a memorial, a reminder of what happened when hunters came to their world. Some people call it barbaric. Some people say we should have been better than that, more civilized, more humane. I disagree. The pyramid is a message, not to the Vorr. They already learned their lesson. It is a message to every other species in the galaxy that might look at humanity and see easy prey. It says something very simple. We are human. We look soft. We seem peaceful. We build schools and hospitals and museums. But we remember what we are. And if you threaten our families, our homes, our children, we will remember how to hunt. This is Sergeant Major Marcus Cole, signing off. Case File 5. 1-2 is now closed. The Vorr learned to fear us. Let others learn from their mistake. Because humanity always hunts back.